effective speaking training program covers 4 main areas. The first one is really to understand that most of our communication happens non-verbally. Most of our communication happens through our expression, our voice tones and our body language. In fact, very little of our communication happens through the words that we choose to use. And when somebody's words and their non-verbal communication are out of sync or out of alignment, it creates confusion and doubt. That's that feeling when somebody goes, I don't know, just something didn't feel right. The second key area that we focus on our program, and by the way, that is to pull the non-verbal and the verbal communication together so they're all communicating the same message. The second key area that we focus on is around how to bring emotion into the way that you speak. Most people, especially in the business context, seem to have forgotten that we're dealing with human beings. And so most people default to the facts and information of their product, their service, their company, or themselves, and leave out and neglect the most important leveraging and influencing ability. That's the ability to connect with people on a more human level, and that's emotional. That doesn't mean to say the facts and information aren't important. They are very important, but they're not the only thing. And when it comes down to your price or your specifications or some of the facts and information around your product or your service, that means that we're not leveraging the emotional element enough. I show you 2 easy and practical ways to bring emotion into the way that you speak. Because to be fair, most people default to the facts and information not because they don't want to bring in the emotion or they don't see the value of bringing in the emotion, but more so because that's the more tangible thing. That's the easier thing to get a hold on and a grasp of. The third key element that we focus on is how to get a really simple, clear message across. Because in my experience, most people tend to give information overload. They dump the information in the hope that the other person or the audience is going to just get what they're trying to communicate. And getting a simple, clear message across takes a lot more effort, a lot more focus, but it's so much more effective. It takes no thought or energy or effort to just dump the information. And so by getting clear on what the message is, you can be much more effective in getting that message across. The last key element that we focus on in effective speaking is really to understand how your brain processes this thing called fear. How we interpret situations and put meaning to those situations, and how that meaning impacts on how we respond behaviorally and emotionally to the situation. Every single person perceives situations differently and therefore has a different experience. So our experience of a situation has got nothing to do with the situation itself, but rather what meaning we choose to put on that situation. By understanding how your brain constructs meaning, you can start changing the meaning that you attach to situations and therefore change a negative experience into a really positive one and allow that to become a force that helps you become more effective and sharper and more focused in the way that you speak.